And welcome and thank you for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored. Today marks 3 years since the death of George Floyd. The murder marked a national resurgence in protests against police brutality and racial injustice in this country. It also inspired calls to defund the police. Earlier this evening, a short documentary about the creation of a sculpture of him here in his hometown debuted. That film, called The Making of George. His sister, LaTonya Floyd, was there. She made an emotional revelation about the man who kneeled on Floyd's neck for more than 8 minutes. Former officer Derek Chauvin.
America might think I'm crazy for saying this, but I have to get this off my chest. At this point, 3 years down the line, I do forgive Derek Chauvin for what he did. It's not okay that he did it, okay? But I have to forgive him in order to move forth with my life. I pray for him, and I pray that he find peace within himself. And I pray that the next time he kneels down, he's kneeling down to help someone up and not hold him down.
Let's talk about it. Joining me now here on The Factor Uncensored, George Floyd's brother, Philonise Floyd, joins us here on The Factor. And I've said your name 50 times, and every time it's still a task. Yeah. But, Phil,
how you doing?
Good to see you. But you lost your brother 3 years ago. Does it feel like 3 years now?
You know, I never had the opportunity to even grieve his death.
Wow.
From the day of when we had the funeral, I had to get out and fly to Congress just to be able to speak. And from that point on, everything just been rolling the ball.
Snowball.
Yeah, and it's always something going on. If I had to go and deal with another family, or if I had to go speak in the White House with Timothy Eugene Scott or Lindsey Graham or Biden or anybody like that. But it's people all across the world whose lives have been affected before George, and it still is happening now. So it's impossible for you to get the chance to like grieve and stuff like that because it's work.
Do you think that has an impact on you though as an individual, because you're still a standalone individual? You have to find a way to deal with your grief. But if you're never dealing with it, how do you think that affects you long term? How has it affected you? Have you noticed anything different since you've been out in the public eye and hadn't had a chance to grieve your brother's death?
You know what? When you think about what happened to George, you don't even think about grieving at any time. The thing that goes on, you have a hard task like which is today. This took a tremendous toll on me because I was married on the 24th. The 25th, he was murdered. And then you have Memorial Day. All of this stuff collide with each other. So the fact that I have to go through all of this, and this basically is like 3 days of work.
It's a roller coaster of emotions.
Up and down, always. So I have to always get out and speak, and it's people that's always wanting interviews, it's people that's needing help. You don't really get that time. My mentor, which is Reverend Al Sharpton, you know, he always tell me, he said, Philonise, he said, God has given you a task, and he said, it's up to you on how you want to view it. And to me it is, I want to help people as much as I can. And that's one of the reasons I started this organization, which is PACFIS, Philonise Floyd, Philonise and Keita Floyd Institution for Social Change, returning our pain into purpose. And that's what I want to do. I want to get out and help others before I help myself.
And have you seen change around this country? Obviously, Congress said, okay, we're going to work on this. State legislature said, we're going to work on this. Politicians said, we're going to address police brutality and change the rules. 3 years down the road, what have you seen?
Nothing as much. I haven't really seen anything. You had a couple of places like a town like Colorado, they ended qualified immunity. You can look and see in Minnesota, they had passed a no-knock warrant. That was Amir Locke, the father and the mother, when they recently got that passed. You have Eric Garner, she been fighting for so long, and it's like when George was murdered, and I stepped up, and now people want to respond, and they willing to help her with the chokehold law. My point is, if it wasn't for Biden passing the executive order, I think that is the only significant change that we had. Because if you really look at it, that is only like law of the land, you know, land of the law right now. But when he's out of office, we don't have anything that protects African-American people, people of color, period. We just don't have any law that can help us.
Now, there's been controversy, as you know, with defunding the police. Was that ever the solid position that you had, or did you want change with police?
I wanted change with police. You have to understand, you can never defund the police, because if you do, you're creating the Wild Wild West. People are gonna take a tax to be able to kill for anything they want because they have nobody to stop them. So you always want police to have some kind of like organization. And you know, even though you have bad law enforcement officers, you have bad apples, I just don't understand why they do the things that they do, because this is the #1 thing to me. If being a law enforcement officer is hard to you, well, try being a black man for once.
Right.
And you see what we go through. It's hard to get a job when you're black. It's hard to be able to walk the streets when you're black. It's just hard to be able to do anything that anybody else wants to do in this world as a black man, period.
For those who want to get involved with your organization, where can they go? Where can they get more information about it and become a part of it?
We have a website, which is pacfix.org. The acronyms are PAKFISC. Again, it stands for the Philonise and Keita Floyd Institute for Social Change, returning our pain and a purpose. We just get out and we like to help with police reform, systemic racism, criminal reform, just a lot of different things we want to be involved in. And most important of all, we want to help change these laws. That is the #1 thing, because we want to be able to end qualified immunity if possible, because it's too many families out here that are hurting and still have pain. Too many empty seats at home at tables, not just due to COVID, due to police brutality. Like I said once before, you got good police officers and you got bad ones. You shouldn't have to sort them out.
Right. You're right. Philonise Floyd, thank you for joining us here on The Factor. Always good to see you, sir.
I got one more thing. If they can make federal laws to protect the bird, which is the bald eagle, then they can make federal laws to protect people of color, period.
I agree with you. Thank you for joining us here.